My name is Rhapsody, welcome back to Slay the Spire. We're going to be doing the custom mode draft, ending, and vintage in A20 for the Defect. Completes the trio, attempting to go for it. Ball Lightning, Go for the Ice stack in the first offering. So Go for the Ice has the ability to synergize with the zero cost build. Ball Lightning has the ability to synergize with a lightning heavy build or a orb heavy build. Stack is not going to be useful because we're not going to get that many cards because of the vintage modifier. I think Go for the Eyes is probably going to be more valuable for us overall. I think we're going to find ease in picking up aggression. Or at the very least, the aggression ease should be paired with the ramp that will be provided to us by vintage. I think we take Go for the Eyes first. Alright, so if previously I had taken the the Ball Lightning, I suppose I would probably take Cold Snap here, but because I've taken a zero cost, I'm probably going to continue and take the FTL as well. So that if I do get something that helps bolster a zero cost build, it's really effective. Genetic Algorithm this early is incredible. You can't turn it down. Beam Cell. Force Field. We got a lot of zero costs in this build right now, so we're kind of looking for draw. Well, Compile is technically draw. Probably Charge Battery. Another defensive card that stays in the deck. Claw. Claw is exactly the kind of thing ultimately we want in this deck. Now, damage is light. Damage is very light in this deck right now. However, I picked to a total of 15 cards, so I should have time to fix that. I take Charge Battery here. Rather than Rip and Tear. Rebound, just because the rest of them are complete garbage. Cool-headed. Makes a lot of sense here as well. Compile Driver now makes more sense now that I've taken Cool-headed. But my deck is Genetic Algorithm, Boot Sequence, 2 Charged Batteries, and a Cool-headed. Do I also want to take a Glacier? That's basically all of my defense covered. Speaking of all of my defense covered, we should probably take the Rip and Tear now. So we can cover more of our offense. Take another Beam Cell. Claw. Alright. We need draw. It's the biggest thing we need. We have a lot of zero costs. We need the ability to draw into them. So Skim is obviously one of the most powerful cards we can get. More copies of Cool-headed, also particularly helpful. There's a path over here that has 3 elites as well as an early question mark, but it avoids a lot of normal combats, and I want those normal combats in order to get the rewards from vintage. Thank heck we have those 2 claws in the deck, otherwise I would already be kind of lamenting the run. Or, specifically lamenting the loss of the run, mind. Beautiful. Bottle Lightning upon pickup choose a skill, start each combat with their own opening hand. So I'm considering putting the Genetic Algorithm in my opening hand. Why would I do that? Well, it's good against, I guess, like late elites and stuff like that. How often do I need to do my maximum defense on turn 1? In fact, it's bad against the heart. I know we're literally on the first floor and I'm talking about what will happen in the final act, but you have to consider these kinds of things. It's a very small nudge in that direction, but still worth considering. Like, Cool-headed might be the right option here. In fact, I think it is. Gets us the Frost Orb out really, really early. Glacier is also another thing that could have gone in the opening hand, but you already have 10 defense in the opening hand from the boot sequence, so I don't think I need the Glacier. We definitely want to rebound like Beam Cell or something here and then draw it and play it again, so... yeah, it's... Rebound, Beam Cell, I'll go for the eyes to Cool-headed, drawing Beam Cell again, getting the enemy vulnerable for the next turn, so I should be able to just whack him away. Ah, yeah. Didn't play the Genetic Algorithm in either that fight or the previous fight beforehand. I keep forgetting to. I should focus on that a little bit more. very important we actually end up building that. I'm gonna rebound the claw to the top of the deck. Take 1 damage this turn, drawing 3 extra cards for us. Hey, we do get down to the genetic algorithm, and then after that, it should just be Beam Cell, Rip Tear. We have too many beam cells, but hey, we couldn't have not taken them. At the start of your combat, channel 1 Dark. So actually, in the first turn, with Bottled Lightning, Cracked Core, and the Symbiotic Virus, I actually get 3 different orbs out on turn 1. So Compile Driver is now the best source of draw that I can get. I turned down 2 of them. Awful. Cool-headed, make sure that's a kill. I'll pop the boot sequence. I'm probably killing all of these enemies before I cycle back around. Let's rebound the beam cell to the top of the deck. Alright. Especially with those 2 charged batteries, I have so much more energy than I have draw. Oh, right, I'm already fully defended with just the normal frosts, so it's fine. I can just focus on the backline then. Beautiful. I mean, how many of the claws did I play in the first cycle? I think I played all of them in the first cycle. So I should not have too much difficulty taking this enemy out. The fact that we're constantly being weakened, though, is definitely not helping. Alright. Gremlin Horn, whenever an enemy dies, gain an energy and draw a card. Huge fan of it. Getting a Glacier out here on turn 1 is actually really good, though. I'm going to rebound the Beam Cell to the top of the deck and then Glacier, so this means that I have the Beam Cell next turn, hopefully for more attacks in hand. Which we fulfill. I don't really have too many ways of playing this turn. Might as well just execute what I have. And then, hopefully, Cool-headed for the kill. Or Calcum if you end your turn without block, gain 6 block, as well as another copy of FTL that. We don't have enough draw in the deck yet that this is a problem, but it could become a problem the more draw I end up getting. So, I'm a little concerned about taking it, but I will at the moment. Alright, there are a couple of upgrades that we're really keen to hit. Obviously, Cool-headed for the extra draw is very important. Anything that extends its duration by an extra turn is really important as well. I'm gonna rebound the Rip and Tear here. Yeah, and just short myself on lethal so that I make sure that I take damage here. That was poorly done. Big genetic algorithm. And great. Now lined up for all of the kills. I gotta remember I do have the Gremlin Horn, so I should just prioritize 1 target down. You can now gain strength at rest sides up to 3 times maximum. I'm just gonna do that for the rest of this floor, ideally. Pumping up gain 2 potion slots. Pretty happy to have it. 3 strength is really good when you're doing many small attacks kind of build. Okay, I can claw. Genetic algorithm is actually probably better to play later in this fight. It should have time to be effective. Okay, I can't throw out the claw unless I want to wake up the enemy this turn. Although maybe I do. Maybe I do. But I don't have good defense next turn is a big problem. But I guess those two FTLs are drawing his cards, so it's possible I still get it. No. No. We'll wake up the enemy next turn. Just give the Dark Orb another turn, at the very least. So, Beam Cell, FTL, FTL. I will rebound the Go for the Eyes back to the top of the deck to make sure that I have access to weakness on that turn. I wasn't really foreseeing any problems, as you can probably see at this point. I'm also going to pop the Genetic Algorithm there, despite the fact that it wasn't needed and could have been useful on a further turn, just because, yeah, I suspect we're killing the enemy this turn, so... Data Disc, start each combat with one focus, huge fan of it, just real pleased to have it. Holograms, Steam Barrier, and Boot Sequence. So Hologram makes a little bit of sense in this deck for pulling back claws, and also because I have more energy than I have anything to do with, this is kind of like pseudo-draw. Courier, the merchant restocks cards, relics, and potions. All prices decreased by 20%. It's extremely valuable, especially with the golden idol that I currently have, and the fact that in Vintage, oftentimes you do get a lot of money from your relic set. We should be off to the races here. I will rebound Rip and Tear just to get damage back atop my deck. I also probably should have popped. No, Boot Sequence can stay in the deck. Never mind, that's fine. Glacier next turn is lethal? Yeah, it is. Would be lovely if I could have drawn it, but... Anchor, start his combat at 10 block. Damn, we are really well defended on turn 1. We have the 10 block from the Boot Sequence, 10 block from the Anchor, and then we have the 3 block from our Data Disked Cool-Headed that is often played on turn 1. I think it's just Cool-Headed and then upgrade all the Cool-Headeds. Rebound to go for the eyes there, just because I might be killing the frontliner next turn. In which case the backliner could have turned around and done a bunch of damage to me. Much appreciated they decided not to. Excellent. Juicer Bracelet, normal enemy encounters and normal encounter in question mark rooms. Right. So, Vintage... So if I can't get normal enemy encounters in a question mark room, then I just have to avoid them all. Because getting a normal relic from a normal fight is way better than like 95% of question mark rooms. Love to get that final lift in really early on the next floor. I'm gonna rebound the Cool-Headed. Good. Then Claw, hollow back the Claw and play the game. Great. So, very glad that I have the Cool-Head in this hand, because obviously otherwise I have just 2 very defensive cards that aren't really helping us. So 13 2 times is 26. That'll split the enemy, actually, if I Rip and Tear right now. Oh, no, wait, they split it 75. Right. Never mind. They split it 75, and 70 is below 75, Ryan. Oh, yeah. I'm a big dummy. Beam Cell. I'll pop the Genetic Algorithm and Boot Sequence, I guess. Like, there's no way I'm getting back through the entirety of the deck. At the very least, it cost us, what? An Explosive Potion? That's not that bad. It could have been so much worse. Okay. Core Search, Seek, and Hyper Beam. Seek seems the easiest here to take, but the Core Search should be considered. It's definitely Seek. Place the crack core. If you end your turn with any empty orb slots, channel 1 frost. We only ever end like the first turn without that. I hate that my only energy option is ectoplasm, but with the more cool-headeds we're putting in this deck and the glacier, like we can actually use the extra energy right now. So let's think about Frozen Core for a little longer, right? If you have an empty orb slot, channel 1 frost. On turn 1, I would channel 1 frost from that. I would also get one from the cool-headed that I play on turn 1, and I get one from the symbiotic virus. So until I start evoking things and freeing up orb slots, I get no more effect from the Frozen Core. But I don't have likely access to ways to increase my amount of orb slots, right? Because, you know, Runic Capacitor is one shop relic out of how many? And that's a shop relic as well, so I'm not getting it in the vintage run normal fights. Also, I don't have easy access to just like Capacitor, the power, because again, I'm not getting normal card selections. And also I've seen one of my boss relics, and one of my boss relics is not the inserter, so not getting it from that either. It's literally only useful on turn 1. So it's either the Snecko Tail or the energy. Or nothing, but I guess you just take the lizard tail if that's the case. I'm going to go for the ectoplasm. I'm very hopeful that I find like one skim. It's good enough and then we win. Spire has an early rest site. And the maximum amount of elites. But then again, elites aren't better than normal combats for us, except for the fact that they give us a card reward. Cool-headed. If I can start the claw chain at any point, just immediately start it then. I need the ramping damage to get started as fast as possible. With that hologram, it's pretty likely I kill the enemy next turn, so I will pop the genetic algorithm there. I mean, hell, I actually don't even need the hologram. More bang! Whenever you climb 4, gain 12 gold. No lower, so it's money to go to the shop. What a great relic to have. I cannot believe you gave me the muggers right now, game. You know what you just did. Alright, let's seek the rebound. Rebound, rip and tear, cool-headed. Rip and tear again. So great. The gold that they take, I don't get back because I can't loot it back from them. That's fine. We constantly keep getting stuff back from the Gremlin Horn, so we weren't actually going to run out of stuff there. Kunai, every time you hit 3 attacks in a single turn, gain a single point of dex. Super useful. Especially in this build, we're going to get a point of dex basically every turn. I'm going to seek the rebound here. Rebound to claw back to the top of the deck, only to draw it and play it again. $50-50. Okay, and get to the next cycle for those powerful claws as soon as possible, please. Definitely hollow one back, though. Like, a single All for One takes this build off into absolute outer space. Just mentioning, just in case the game should see fit to provide. Hair for a little bit more max HP. Okay, it gives a little longer before I'm rightfully scared of everything. Yeah, I should hit this early shop so that, like, muggers don't take all of my money. Receive 3 apparitions. Lose 37 max HP. Are apparitions that good for us? We defend easily already. No. Not necessary. Huh. Flash of Steel, definitely, but do we take anything else? Put a skill from your draw pile into your hand on Secret Technique. We don't have enough skills that are worth putting in our hand. Like, Cool-Headed is in my opening hand, and then what happens if it's after the next Cool-Headed or Seek, right? What am I even pulling out with it? So, it's definitely Flash of Steel. I feel like it's probably also a card removal on a Beam Cell. There's too many of them in the deck. Just 1 too many. I don't need 3. 2 is fine. Oh, right, of course. We also replaced the things. Okay. Rip and Tear makes a lot of sense with the Guerilla in particular. Think I'm actually gonna just wait for this shop now. This is also my Emerald Elite path. So hopefully that means that I can't forget to go for the Emerald Elite this time. So 5, 5, 7, 7. 5, 7, 7's 19. And then they can still die to the lightning if I target the Mad Gremlin in the back line. Alright, cool. Flash of Steel for the draw first, see if... Oh, never mind. Go for the kill and get another draw. I'm gonna hologram back a Cool-Headed. Oh, hell yes! That turn could not have gone much better than that. Oh, hell yes. If we can get a Shuriken as well. My god. Not that we need it, but if we could. My god. Alright. I actually will seek just to get the rebound out there so that I can rebound the claw specifically back to the top of the deck. Genetic Algorithm I will leave in the deck at this point. I'm about to shuffle into my new deck anyway, so it's not far away, hopefully. Well, there it is. Unceasing Top. Unceasing Top is the best thing I can get in this position. And I'm in a vintage run, so it's easier to get than I might otherwise expect. Maybe my thing is I should just be just running at the same... one sec, FTL. Draws FTL. Maybe I should just be running at normal combats exclusively, like avoiding elites for them in particular, just so that I can try and fish for the Unceasing Top from vintage. I don't know, that seems like a desperation move. A bit too much. It's a bit too high key a desperation move for me. Perfect block though. Lovely. Okay, we do have a rest after this as well. So that's our final Giria. Singing Ball. When adding cards to your deck, you may raise your max HP by 2 instead, and I'll actually take advantage of it there. Seek also needs to be upgraded, as well as the second Cool-Headed. Hologram as well, but that only really matters in boss fights. Okay. Less than 3 cards this turn, so I can't rebound FTL, Cool-Headed FTL. So instead, it will be... Rebound Cool-Headed to the top of the deck. Then I'll FTL, and I hate that I can't Beam Cell before I do all of that, but I can't Beam Cell before I do all of that. 13. No, I'm fine. Ooh. Good turn right there. Seek for anything that provides a significant amount of draw. Hologram is probably the best way to do it right now. So I can hologram back the cool-headed. Excellent. That had the best way of chaining out into the rest of the entire build. This against the heart. That's what we got to be thinking about now, right? Because it's pretty clear this very likely gets to the heart. Hologram and Glacier both got upgraded. Glacier is only 3 extra blocks, so it's not that important, but the hologram is neat. Removes its exhaust. We'll drop the Ancient Potion so that I can Gambler's Brew past a particularly horrid draw. Meat of the Bone. If your HP is at or below 50% at the end of combat, heal 12 HP. That should never happen. We'll take the Sapphire Key now. So this floor is going to let us finish our key. Okay. Should definitely seek before I cool-headed. What in particular am I looking for here? I don't know. I actually don't know what I'm looking for here. Genetic algorithm. It's genetic algorithm. Defend as much as I can on turn 1 with just a single card. I think I Gambler's Brew these two for being more than I need. Dang, if that hit the backliner, I would be in a better position. Alright. Do I want to give myself Thorns and 6 poison to the backliner? I do. Those potions aren't actually great for us as well, by the way, which is why I'm okay getting rid of them. Alright. Rebound the... What do I want to put back on top of my deck? I guess the Go for the Eyes. It goes back to the top of the deck. Never mind, that was entirely wrong. Thankfully, it was another one of those positions where it really doesn't matter, though. Alright. In fact, I can just let them hit me again. And will. Brad will. He's dropping an additional card reward. That literally doesn't happen, game. Ugh. Come on, did that have to be available in Vintage? Remove a card from the deck or upgrade all strikes and defense. I'm actually looking at the second beam cell right now. Oh, it's a bit much. It's a bit much to remove it. It's a bit much to remove it. Charge battery? No. Because the 2 charge batteries are actually really important because they're the non-exhausting ways to benefit from Kunai's decks. Because obviously Genetic Algorithm exhausts, Boot Sequence exhausts. Glacier is very expensive, so it doesn't benefit that well from decks. Cool-Headed doesn't actually give you straight up block, it gives you frost, so it doesn't actually benefit for that. Benefits the hologram. Yeah, I can't remove another charge battery, it's too important. Taking an FTL out of the deck as I increase the amount of draw that I'm putting in the deck, that seems more reasonable. I think I remove an FTL. I'd upgrade all strikes and defense happily if it wasn't for the fact that I have none of them. It's almost always my go-to. I could Core Surge card remove, but I think it's just card remove. But what is the card remove, though? Rip and Tear is already a lot of damage for us. I don't know if I remove that from the deck. Nothing. Nothing. I don't think that... I think there is no longer anything to remove from this deck for significant impact. Maybe I stock up on potions. None of the other potions are good. All right, fine. I'm saving the rest of my money for, again, a possible later opportunity. Strip and Tef first. Let's see what it... Yeah, just in case. Just in case it did something similar to that. Put the claw back atop the deck and immediately draw it. Lovely. So the enemy decides not to attack on this turn, which I'm very appreciative of, because turns out never mind, I could have defended on that turn. So if only you were attacking. Okay. The Fat Gremlin definitely needs to die. I'm going to seek out the rebound as a decent way, I feel, to do that. Cool-headed first for a draw. Okay, we definitely know what we're doing to rebound then. Increases its damage by 2 this combat when upgraded. Interesting. 18, 18. 18, 18, 9, so 36 9s, 45. Holograms back this for 14, 21, 45, 21, 68. This is not enough. And I would be still weakened for the next turn is the big reason that I don't do that. Okay. I think I know what I do now. I claw, hologram that claw back. Then I rebound claw the gremlin wizard, drawing that same claw, and now it's 16. That was such a smooth turn. Oh, I'm really proud. Like, manipulating the claw that many times between that many different piles in order to get perfect kills on targets. Oh. Don't like to toot my own horn, but... Ooh, Micro Hourglass. At the start of your turn, deal 3 damage to all enemies. As well as another hologram too much. Flash of Steel, hologram. Great. I will cool-headed first, though. Holo straight back to the Flash of Steel, I feel. Right, I'm going to Beam Cell rebound the Glacier to the top of the deck. It'll full defend us, and then I still have the Glacier for the next turn where I'm still vulnerable. Which, as it turns out, seems like it was a pretty important impact. Although if I'd drawn a more aggressive hand, I would have had to kill there. The Mercury Hourglass providing us the AoE damage it does is so necessary. Much appreciated. All these Smooth Stones started combat with 1 dex. And... fine. It's cool-headed for the extra draw, definitely. Especially for the possibility that we end up taking an energy relic after this boss fight. That's possible. Yikes. I'm gonna hologram back this cool-headed. Yeah. Because the only thing I want to rebound is Claw. So, knowing that cool-headed was going to lead me on 1 energy, but I would have enough energy for a rebound and a 0-cost Claw, made a pretty easy decision for me. So I'll Beam Cell a target, then Rip and Tear. Quite lucky on that, actually. And I'll kill you in my own turn just to draw. Also skill potion here just to see if I... That's ridiculous. I'm really amazed that I got exactly the draw card I was looking for from the skill potion. I really should not have been given that. Yeah, the enemy's not going for big hits for a while. I'm going to burn the genetic algorithm because it's entirely possible we kill the enemy before it's a concern. Okay, so we'll hologram a claw back to the top of the deck. I'll Beam Cell, rebound claw. And I don't know, with any decent manipulation next turn, it's possible. Yeah, it's claw. We hologram that claw. I'll beam cell, rebound the claw to the top of the deck. Cool-headed to draw the claw, and we get 2 of them. Oh my god, that was such a lucky turn. But that is eventually what our deck becomes after we get the exhaust out of it, right? That's why I'm not taking cards that are fine, but don't contribute towards the cycling of the build. Not getting an awful one there is not nice. I'm saddened by the experience. The Philosopher's Stone, Empty Cage, and Sneckwai, though. Sneckwai is obviously like completely out. Can't take it. It's too good. It'd break the game. So I probably just go for a Philosopher's Stone. That seems more reasonable. Unless I end up with like a single copy of Skim, this like whole thing is tragic. Please, game. Skim me. Oh my god. Hologram, claw, and rebound being in the same hand is just, oh, it's so neat. So it's beam cell, claw. Do I actually want to rebound the hologram to the top of the deck? Hang on, maybe that's it. So I can hologram back the claw, and then I rebound claw, claw goes to the top of the deck. But I can rebound the hologram, goes back to the top of the deck, and I use the hologram to take claw, and then next turn I use hologram to take claw as well. So both ways I end up playing 2 claws. It's just this way uses more energy this turn. But it also uses more energy next turn, but it gives me 6 block next turn as well. That's probably going to be worth it. I will rebound the hologram. Ridiculous amount of damage on turn 1 for a deck that has mostly claws. I'll genetic algorithm and then just pull for lethal. Easy. Lantern started combat with additional energy. Unceasing top. Come on. Just game. This goes off so hardcore with just 1. Please provide. I should steal it. Game. Oh my god. Took all of our effort, but we finally got a kill there. Ridiculous amount of block. Come on, like a single awful one or an unceasing top. Like, I know I'm harping on them, but the reason I'm harping on them is because they would make these fights like half a turn long. It would be so much faster. Actually, just go ahead and kill. Great. Ancient Tea set? My god, my first turn is going to have so much energy in the upcoming boss fight. Do I want upgrades on this floor? I don't really want upgrades on this floor, I don't think. I'm going up this way. Transient. So my goal against the transient clearly has to be, I guess, just increment the claws as high as possible, as quickly as possible. Because as soon as I'm just playing 2 claws every single turn and they're, you know, what, 30 apiece, enemy's completely invalidated. But it'll take at least until then. I'll leave the genetic algorithm in the deck because this enemy can get really tricky. Could be useful. We know what the hologram pulls back. Claw. And in fact, we get another point of dex at the very end. Rounded out with the glacier. I mean, it's not extremely unlikely I end up killing this enemy. With these claws constantly growing, I'm going to get rid of the genetic algorithm and the boot sequence so that I'm not cycling back into them anymore. Should have rebounded at the end of the turn, though, because I didn't want a charged battery, ideally, in that hand. claws this turn, at least. Come on. FTL first. No claws so far. Okay. Rebound, the claw to the top of the deck. Absolutely all the rest of those. Cool-headed, we're fine. Beautiful. Nothing doing about the kill, though. Only halfway there. Molten Egg, when you attack cards to your deck, upgrade it, as well as the Essence of Steel, which should probably take over from that regen potion right there. Maybe the energy potion, actually. Fight for a rare relic. Yeah. It could be the Unceasing Top. It could also be the Dead Branch. Would I take the Dead Branch? Like, it ruins my ongoing deck build, but it gives me a lot of... Like, I have the energy to get value out of it. Seek out the cool-headed here. Good. So it was right to do that in that order so that I would have the beam cell before the claw. Unless the enemies are vulnerable, I have to be a little bit limited, a little bit reserved. May as well do it to the enemy that takes more damage. Thank heck that got me something pretty defensive there. So the enemy's adding burns to our deck is really it's not good for us. Yeah, it's a little bit annoying, actually. Take a rip and tear here. That said, with 32 HP left on them, they could be putting burns in my hands and deck and discard pile constantly. I still feel like we're probably going to get out of this one just fine. Peace Pipe. You can now remove cards from your deck at rest sites. Garbage. Skim. So I could have taken the cool-headed there, but Skim is more important. Like, it's literally twice as much draw when upgraded, and I also don't need those extra Frost Orbs we've seen, evidently, beforehand. Drop that for the Dex Potion. It's another Flash of Steel and a Claw. You can't turn those down. You literally, it's not possible to turn those down in that position. Those are exactly what we needed. Especially considering the recent pickup of the Skim. Rebound, that claw to the top of the deck. We immediately draw the claw. I'm gonna seek out the dagger in the back line with it. Seek out the Skim. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Do I hologram back the Skim before I do anything here? I think so. It's the most important card in the entire deck. Ooh, neat. Just flash happily and then start skimming through the rest of the deck, I guess. FTL is no longer useful, unfortunately, but I can hologram back the Skim. Beautiful. When Claw is so much of your damage, Cool-Headed just feels so useful. My usual lament is, oh great, that Cool-Headed draws me cards and then I can't afford to play them because Cool-Headed cost an energy, but nope. It's all working great here. Don't need any of that. I will go back to the max HP pool. Rebound, Claw. FTL immediately into the Claw. So I'm looking for, what? Sources of vulnerability. That's 10 and that's 11. Actually, 10 and 9 is exactly what I want on the back line of there. Damn it. Yeah, you can see, if I didn't have, like, Boot Sequence or, like, one of these charge batteries, or maybe even Glacier, this fight would be so much faster because I would have the rest of my aggressive cards in hand. So every single one of the defensive cards that I have is actually stealing away from my possible turn 1 aggression. It's a touch concerning. Like, concerning to the point that I might want to remove one of the charge batteries. I know that I previously decreed that I exclusively... or rather that I'd thought about it and decided that they were actually quite necessary for the deck. I don't know. I don't know anymore. do not no longer know about that. Well, I'll tell you what I do know about, though. Know about that unceasing top we just got. Called it. And the only thing that stops me is the curse. So ideally, I would have drawn into the curse on the first turn there, so that my second turn isn't blocked. Oh well. Rebound the Flash of Steel back to the top of the deck. Oh my god, this is perfect. I'll seek out Skim. I'm looking for this hand to become like the hand full of all of the things that I desperately don't want next turn, because my Unceasing Top ideally should be going off next turn. This is perfect. Like the highest cost cards, the Glacier, the Curse obviously exhausts itself, and the Skim that draws, but you don't need the draw power when you're using the Unceasing Top. Got all of that out of the deck, and we should just chain for the kills then. Perfect. Very, very pleased at the foresight and the execution of that one. Bottle Flame. Up, I pick up, choose an attack, start each combat with an opening hand. Do I always put a Cleave in my opening hand? A Claw in my opening hand, just so they can start them off? Or do I put a Beam Cell in my opening hand so they can start the enemy vulnerable? Do I put a Rebound in my opening hand so that I can try and get as many shenanigans off in turn 1 as possible? I don't know. I think Rebound is probably the best one. Because as long as I don't have a curse in my opening hand, Rebound just says, hey, whatever card in your hand you want, use it twice. So I'm going to exclusively try to not pair most of these things. Yeah, I wasn't going to... Definitely wouldn't want to pair that. Definitely don't want to pair that. Yeah. Even... I would rather not pair things than look at more of the board and possibly find something that I would want to pair. Popping the Claw back on top of the deck and then having it draw itself is just so, so lovely. Let's put the Claw. Ooh, got past the expensive card and the curse. Hell yes, next cycle is ridiculous. I'm okay with missing out all these cards and being in the next cycle, so I'll draw. It's fine. Yeah, I have to get past Skim. Skim is not good for the Unceasing Top, but it is just good in general here for us. Follow back another one of the claws. In fact, yeah, decent drawing. We got lethal. Dreamcatcher whenever you rest your amount of cards to your deck, as well as that's another Skim. I can't take it. I would have taken it if I didn't have the Unceasing Top, but I do have the Unceasing Top now. However, I also do need to consider that the Heart Fight is going to put a bunch of statuses into my deck. So is actually, hang on, not as only the Heart Fight going to do that, but also the Spire Shield and Spear Fight will do that. I think I need the second Skim. I'm glad I took an extra moment there. The Gambler's Brew is going to be very useful in that final floor for that same reason. I think I dropped the Energy Potion for the Strength Potion, though. It's pretty garbage opening hand so far. Oh, God. It did not get better. I can't Gambler's Brew right now against this enemy. I put a Glacier on my next hand just in case. Just in case the enemy gets real aggressive. It's decent. What would I even pull out with a Seek? Should pull out something, I guess. Fine. Ah, there we go. Did end up with the Ascender's Bane. So now the rest of our deck has cycle stuff. Yeah, the skims are still going to be a huge problem for that, as we've been demonstrating this entire time, unfortunately. Hollow back another claw. Hopefully the enemy is not beautiful. Trying to put Parasite in the deck, but if they were, then I mean, I wouldn't be able to remove the Parasite here because I have to go for the Ruby Key, but I can remove the Parasite next floor, so it's not too much of a concern. With the Peace Pipe, by the way. In particular, how I would accomplish that. Sweet. Gold-plated cables. Your rightmost orb triggers its passive an additional time. Do I take the speed? No. No, I develop my own decks pretty easily. See if I can get away without having to play the cool-headed overall. Turns out no. Bad time for that beam cell, though. Maybe I cut too many of the beam cells from the deck. I know there's still another one in here. Okay. Draw 3, draw 1, and draw 1. So I can get into the new draw pile right now. I'll do it. It'd have to be hologram, though. Hang on, do I care about that? Maybe I'll just go for another claw. Yeah. And I'll even go for the upgraded one. Also got us a point of decks from the kunai, so there's enough there to appreciate, I feel. Did all of that in the wrong order, though. And forgot about the unceasing top. Of course, of course. All right, I'm going to keep my hand on the keyboard so that I stop doing that. The more casual my stance is, the more casual my playstyle is, apparently. Ornamental Fan every time you play 3 attacks in a single turn, game 4 block. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The only thing missing from this build is Shuriken, but even then, we kind of have... Like, we have ramp ourselves from the claws. We found the Flash of Steel to the top of the deck. Use a Flash of Steel to play. Unfortunately hit the wrong targets, but the skim might help us. Ugh, no, not anymore. Damn. Fine. Calipers is the best pickup that I can actually make in terms of relics. Because the amount of block that we generate on turn 1, in fact, just the amount of block we generate with just the genetic algorithm played, being able to hold that for the rest of the fight is ridiculous. Beautiful. Stone Calendar, at the end of turn 7, deal 52 damage to all enemies. So now we just have 2 more elites and a boss. Got to recall in this position, have no choice. Oh, hang on, no. The 2 bosses, an elite, and then the final boss. There we go. Okay. I will seek out of this deck a claw so that I have something to do with that rebound. Rebound the claw to the top of the deck, cool-headed draws. Ideally, I play 12 cards this turn. Oh my god! And we burn the Ascender's Bane on the 13th. Insane luck right there. Insane. Let's keep that draw going, please. Yeah, it's more likely that I just play 5 cards next turn. In fact, it's literally impossible that I end up playing 5 more cards that turn, so. Ooh, enemies defending, lovely. Beam Cell into Skim, just looking for claws. Claw, hologram claw. So enemy is still above their split value. Yikes. Are we? We almost actually ended up taking damage here. You sneaky little timey to you. How dare you? Not supposed to be able to do that to me. Well, at least our claws are pretty significant right now. So, let's get rid of the slime, definitely. Extra energy in the next turn does matter now, because it actually does still help us cycle. I forgot that the enemy does still put slimes in my deck, so yeah, statuses exist in this as well. I should hologram back and play Glacier. But still, ugh. I hate that I can't just go all aggressive all the time. Oh no, slimes. So, I have no powers in this deck, so I guess I hope I'm fighting the Awakened one next. Should have drawn from the Cool-Headed first. Yeah, I definitely should have drawn from the Cool-Headed first, just due to the fact that I could have gotten a... where are you? I could have gotten a Beam Cell. The enemy would have been vulnerable, and they, in fact, already would have died this turn. Four. Kill on exactly the last card. Lovely. It's gonna give me don't. Yeah, I was about to say it's gonna give me Donu and Deca, despite the fact that I obviously want the other one. Okay. Beam Cell, Rebound, Claw. Just over defend on turn one. I have to do that if I want to be able to continue drawing, unfortunately. Well, that's another point of Dex, though. I will strike that on the enemy just to try and remove some artifacting from you. My gosh, though, the end of that, getting another point of Dex out of nowhere. Seek out a Claw. Use that. Hologram back a Claw. Use that. Great. I don't want the Glacier in the new cycle, nor do I want Charged Battery in the new cycle, so I'll Flash of Steel before playing either. And they don't show up in the new deck, and the Ascendan's Bane is already gone. So that means that next turn I'm just cycling through a ridiculous amount of stuff. Oh no, the Dazed! Forgot about the Dazed. Forgot to remember about the Dazed. Yeah, that's gonna cause some problems. Maybe I should have been focusing Deca at the start, so the Dazed would be a concern of mine. Brings back a Claw for the kill on Donor. Beautiful. So now I have Beam Cell and Beam Cell for Deca. I wanted to make sure that I left the Beam Cells for Deca just because I knew that with the two in hand, I could get through the artifacting and start hitting. But it's really just, you know, how effective can I be now? How many of my claws am I going to draw in the start half of this deck? Turns out, quite a lot of them, as well as quite a lot of ability to access the other claws from other positions. Perfect. All right. Spire, Shield, and Spear. Largest concern of mine. Let's hope it's not that bad, at least. Or maybe that we get... no, Smoke Bomb isn't going to work, right? Because I have to kill one of them before I can leave. It's the only combat you can't Smoke Bomb away from that is not a boss combat because you are quote-unquote surrounded, as the character says when you try and use it. It's a little bit of a cop-out. In my mind, at least. So Smith here, to me, goes on the skims now. So that I can still have useful turns despite having a bunch of statuses in my hand or whatever at the time. I would love if I could take Dark Shackles, but without that, it's Just hard pass. Unless I want a Gambler's Brew? No, Gambler's Brew I need to save. I play enough attacks that Strength Potion is like a lot of damage against the heart. I'm going to drop the Dex Potion here, actually, and take the Power Potion. For the possibility the Power Potion just happens to be like Echo Form on turn 1. It's pretty common when you're playing the Defect. Cinder's Bane in the open hand is rough. Not a huge fan of those burns. At the very least, we drew straight past them. Fine. I mean, I've got the genetic algorithm as soon as I turn back around to be fine here. I'm leaving the beam cell so that I can use that to turn back around to the Spire shield at the end. Spire spear, rather, at the end. Wait, 7 plus 13 is 20, plus 15 is 35. So I have Beam Cell, Claw, and then upgraded Claw. That turns me around, beautiful, and then I can play the genetic algorithm by myself. I'll seek to get the Go for the Eyes out of the deck. Beam Cell, Go for the Eyes. Getting another point of Dex and pop the charge battery off at the very end there. That also removes all the artifacting from the enemy so that I can start hitting them with an actual Go for the Eyes later. Oh, that was a really good turn. Some of them go well. So I'm going to double Beam Cell, then just rebound a Skim to the top of the deck. Because now if I draw, any source of draw, like a Flash of Steel, I can get back into all of it. All the way into lethal. Alright. Shuriken! What? Every time you play 3 attacks in a single turn, gain 1. You chose exactly the right time, Shuriken. I couldn't be more pleased. I'll drop the Strength Potion for the Focus Potion now. That's more defense. The Shuriken has my offense covered. Take a Go for the Eyes, because second Go for the Eyes in the deck with the ability to weaken against the heart makes a lot of sense. Really important. Oh my god. That's like the best relic, and possibly, short of All for One, the best card that I could have been given there. That's wild as hell. Loop is the only one that makes sense there. I'm gonna seek out a Claw. Rebound Claw. Should have cool-headed first before I did any of that, I feel. Alright, I'm gonna try and get away without playing the Glacier here if possible. That lets the Dark Orb build, I guess. Fine. There's all those statuses now. And the enemy has the strength from Philostone as well. I hadn't considered that. Alright. Very hopeful that I end up getting weakness on the enemy here at some point. Let's use the Go for the Eyes, I suppose, for that. It doesn't get better in the next hand is the thing. Oof. I mean, I can throw those 3, but then I just get Claw and Rip and Tan, Void. Fine. Because I can cast those, and it gets me a point from Kunai, and it gets me a trigger of Ornamental Fan, and it gets rid of the Void. Charge battery first, just so that I'm not taking damage to the beat of death. That dazed has already killed a large amount of my hope for this. Ooh, hang on. My hope for this turn has come flooding back. What with the algorithm? Oh, perfect. Yes. Literally, my only concern is how many attacks can I play in a turn for the sake of my kunai and stuff. Oh my god, that's another attack as well. Beautiful. I'm gonna rebound that claw back to the top of the deck. I'll go for the eyes. Hologram to draw back and play another claw. Where's the upgraded one? Actually, it doesn't matter, right? The enemy's, yeah, not even taking damage anymore to me. Perfect. The enemy is still vulnerable this turn, but yeah, getting go for the eyes on them is going to be a bit rougher. Thankfully, we still do have one more. Also, the Orichalcum is actually kind of tip of the hat to it right there. Quite effective. Hologram back to Claw. Use a Rip and Tear for the setup. Really? Claw's still not lethal? Dang it. We literally have to be able to... Yeah, beautiful. I knew that there was lethal in here somewhere. That was actually surprisingly close by the end there. Especially considering the kunai and the shuriken were ramping the entire time. So yeah, the vulnerability this deck had to the enemy's shuffling statuses and the like into our deck was as dire as I was saying. But thankfully, the deck was good enough by the end to pull itself over the line. I don't even know if it would have been able to without... Oh, damn it, I skipped past the score. My apologies. My apologies. You can probably find it on a paused frame there. For the moment, though... Actually, you know what? I do want to check it. Just because the scores in these runs are real high. Yeah, 3652. Neat. For the moment, though, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Slay the Spire. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.